Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome to virtual drive number 2. If you haven't watched number 1, please do so before you watch this one. Drive number 1 was just to get familiar with the car, and I understand that most of you would not spend the entire drive in a parking lot, but um, some instructors do, right? So I would suggest that you expect to be out on the street your first drive. So make sure you read the manual, make sure you understand the laws, make sure you know how to deal with intersections and different intersections. And so there are 4 different kinds: uncontrolled, two-way, four-way, and controlled. So the uncontrolled, no signs, no lights. Two-way, 2 sides have stop signs and the other sides don't. Four-way, all 4 sides have a stop sign. Or controlled, which are controlled with lights. So we're going to go ahead and jump back in the car just to kind of remind you what you want to be doing here. You're going to get your seat adjusted so you can reach the pedals comfortably and the steering wheel. You're going to adjust the inside mirror and the outside mirrors. Outside mirrors, most important, so you can see out to the sides of your car. Oh, you may have noticed that we also upgraded our vehicle since last time with some really snazzy looking interior. But just wanted to try a different car. So we're going to basically get into traffic today. And so you forgive me if I change to my outside view. It's just a little bit easier in this simulator. Again, this is called BeamNG.drive. That's what it is. Okay, so we're going to go out to the exit and follow. There's kind of some lines that are up in the air. We are going that direction. So we're going to go ahead and start the car. So foot on the brake, start the car. Make sure your seatbelt is on, obviously, and your job is to make sure that your passengers have their belts on as well. And so we're going to go out to the right side of that exit, if you know what I mean. We're basically going to go and apply just a little bit of gas. And this car is really touchy to drive, so forgive me if I'm just a little bit laggy. And whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. It's just a little bit touchy. So my computer is running a bunch of things right now, and so thinking the graphics are a little bit laggy, and I turned on traffic. So all right, remember that at an intersection, if you're in front, you look left, right, left. So you're basically looking for cars that are coming, like that red one I see coming. There's also a merge right there, and that's probably the most dangerous thing, is that green car right there. So I look left, right, left, and this is a pretty quick thing, right? So I'm looking left, right, left, and if there's cars, you start over. So okay, so we're going to look left, right, left, and if there's nobody coming, and there is, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up just a little bit more, by the way. In this view, it's a little bit tricky to see. So there we go. That's better. Now there's a red car coming. Now, who has the right of way? Well, typically we do. He's at a stop sign, so we could probably go. But I'm going to go ahead and let him go because he was moving. So I'm going to go to my left, right, left, and go ahead and pull out behind this red car. Okay, the first thing you do is you get centered in the lane and adjust your speed to the flow of traffic. Or if you know the speed limit, that's what you want to stay on. Okay, the light's green. It's a little hard to see that. No, it's not. Just turn yellow. So we're going to go ahead and come up to a nice, smooth stop. So you take your foot off the gas and you coast, and then just apply smooth brake. Okay, remember that in this view, you should be able to pull up so that your we talked about reference points in the first video, so that the bottom, and I can't really see it right here, well, it's a little hard to see where I'm at, but the bottom of my left, I think I need to go back just a little bit, the bottom of my outside left mirror should line up with, let me change my view so you can see. If I do that, I am stopped well behind the stop line. All right? So light's green. Let's go ahead and look left, right, left, and go. Try not to peel out. Watch that green car because he's going to pull in front of me. So I'm going to let him go, and I'm going to go straight. So let's stay in the middle of the lane and go straight. Now, one thing that new drivers have a hard time doing is knowing if their car is in the middle of the lane. A lot of times they will drive way over here, and they think they're in the middle of the lane, and I'm not kidding. By the way, the light's red, so we're going to come to a stop right here. They think they're in the middle of the lane. So when they're inside the car, they're like, yeah, looks good. So you also need to use some reference points. And when my light turns green, I'm going to pull out just a little bit, make sure no one's behind me. Pull out just a little bit here so I can get a little more centered. That drives me crazy. But I'm going to show you what I mean. And that's something you'll practice. First, second, third drive, fourth drive, whatever. Okay, that red car's going to go. Left, right, left. Do I have to look left if there's a building over there? Yes, just do it. It's habit, right? Things are habit. So we want to make things habitual, and so everything in driver's ed needs to become a good habit. All right, so we are going to go, it's interesting, there's some arrows in the air. That I think there are some challenges that I'm not going to do, but we're going to follow the arrows, and so we're going to signal to the right. Idaho law says you have to signal for 5 seconds before you get to the intersection, so I didn't quite do that. So you have to 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, and then stop at the intersection. Now, notice that I can't really see super well, so yes, it's okay if after I stop, if I creep up just a little bit. As a matter of fact, there's a crosswalk. I'm just going to go ahead and do my left. Oh, I can't really see because of that, the pillar of my car, but that Jeep stopped for us, and so we're going to go ahead and go into our closest lane to me. Boy, that's weird in that view. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to ignore that arrow in the sky. I'm also going to switch my view to top view again. Oh, no, that wasn't top view. Top view is right there, and I have to rotate. There we go. Okay, so we're basically going to drive through this little cute downtown area. So you notice that I am centered. I'm about, let's get a little better centered. I'm about 3 feet from the double yellow, and I'm about 3 feet from the parking spaces. Now let's take a look at what that looks like from the inside of the car. Okay, so there is such a thing as reference points. Let's check my rearview mirror, see if I have somebody behind me. Nope. Yep, there is somebody way back there. But it's a game. Reference points, remember that we use the mirror to know where to stop at a line. But also reference points, notice that my car, the hood of my car, look at the left side of my hood. It is basically lined up parallel, almost touching the yellow lines. You see that? See how as I drive, notice that my hood doesn't touch the yellow lines, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm a little bit left. I'm going to go ahead and get right about here, and I'm going to stop. Okay, and I'm going to switch my view. And let's get out and take a look. And right now it's a little hard to see because those parking lines aren't there, but I am 3 feet from the yellow line and about 3 feet from the parking spaces over there. That puts me right in the middle of the lane. And remember, please, that reference points are unique for every car, right? So your hood's not going to be the same as this hood. Your mirrors may not be in the same place as these mirrors. But for this car, these reference points work for me. Now I know where to stop, and I know how to stay in the middle of a lane. All I have to do is keep the left side of the hood lined up with that line, and I'm good to go. Now, if you want to check, ask your instructor. Perfectly fine. You're not going to do it in the middle of a street like this, but you could do it. Let's go ahead and turn right here. We're going to signal 5 seconds before we get here. And you don't have to look because you have the right of way. You can just turn. Your instructor can do that on a quiet road where there's no traffic. And I'm going to switch to that outside view again. But certainly ask. Say, hey, can I check something? Can I check my reference points? Let's turn left here into this neighborhood. So this blue car has the right of way because they're going straight. You never pull in front of a car going straight. So he's turning. So we'll just go right being, oh, that guy is just going to go ahead and run the whatever. Oh, it's an uncontrolled intersection, right? So no stop signs. Whoever gets there first goes first, which, by the way, was me. Those cars both just broke the law, but hey, just because it's the law doesn't mean people are going to do it. So you want to drive defensively. It's called defensive driving. So you just expect people to do dumb things and you'll be fine, right? As a matter of fact, people always ask me, how do you teach drivers training? That must be scary. Well, the only thing that scares me is other people. Like new drivers, not a problem. It's other people who aren't paying attention. They're on their phone. They're doing their makeup. Whatever they're doing, they're the ones that I worry about. They run the red lights, run the stop signs. So, all right, we're just going to follow this road around the corner here. Disregard the fact that I'm not able to keep my speed consistent here. Just, it's a setting I could not figure out. Let's take a left here. Do we have to stop? I don't love the fact that they're not stopped. There's no stop signs. Now, this is not normal. So I chose this scenario is Eastern USA. I don't think that's an excuse because this would have at least a yield sign. There's no way that this street would not have to stop. So you can tell that the other street is a little bit more of a thorough street, a through street. And so I'm going to wait and I'm going to, I'm the one that stops. Let's go ahead and use our reference points to line our left mirror up with that line, boop, and that should be just about right. Our left blinker is still on, and we want to make sure that there's no traffic coming, and there's a lot of traffic coming. Now there's not. Look left again, and we're good, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out. And I am on the sidewalk. That's some quality driving there, Mr. Johns. There we go. Get centered. By the way, that happens in driver's ed. Usually not the instructor. But today it was. There we go. We're going to stay centered and find our speed. If you don't know what the speed limit is, you have to kind of judge by the type of street. Now, this is a city street, so I'm probably guessing 30, 35. It's not a highway, and it's not a neighborhood. Neighborhoods are going to be 25. School zones, 20. So if you kind of know those areas, you can guess. Always guess low, and eventually you'll find a speed limit sign. So my speed 20. I'm trying to keep it consistent, but I'm still kind of low. But it's a new area. I don't feel like zooming around here super fast. And 22, 25 actually feels about right actually right now, since I don't know the area. Let's go right here at this street. Do I have to stop? No. And there's no cross traffic because the lane ends over there on the left. So let's just go ahead and turn into our closest lane. Idaho law says you have to turn into the closest lane. If there are 2 lanes, you have to go to the closest one. Another thing that you'll practice, second, third, fourth drives, etc., is staying in your lane around corners, because it's normal, as you can see, for me to cut the corner a little bit. No, you can't do that. So you can move a little inside. Yes, you do change lane positions. These are called lane positions, whether you're on the center, left, or right. But what you want to do is make sure, most importantly, you don't swing wide on a corner and end up sideswiping or crashing into another car like I was almost doing there. You also don't want to run over a curb. That's really hard on the tires. But we'd rather you hit the curb like this, boom, 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 than swing over here and be in the way of that car. So turning, let's go ahead and take a left here, and I'll show you what I mean. We want to let that yellow truck go first. He's got the right of way because he's going straight. Okay, anytime there's anytime there's cars that are going straight and cars, and I probably should check cross traffic. So weird that these are uncontrolled intersections. There's no way that that's not normal. So left, right, left. I could try to do it a little bit faster. Oh, yep, because I have cars Mr. Johns, you're in the middle of the street. That's not good. Get behind this green car and get out of here. Ooh, closest lane to me. That wasn't great. So let's get centered. Let's get centered. And a lot of driver's ed drives end in parking spots next to a curb. So let's go ahead and signal right. And I want you to pull up parallel to the curb. Do you know what the law is? How close you have to be from the curb? Yes, there's a law for that. And you should know it. The answer? 18 inches. 18 inches or less. So am I there? No, I'm probably too far out. So let's go ahead and pull in just a little bit. Don't go crazy, Mr. Johns. Just get right about there. Boop. Oh, sidewalk. Yeah. Okay. Let's get it about. So 18 inches is a ruler and a half, right? So think of it that way. So that's better. Ruler and a half. Boop. Stop. Okay. So that might be more like a foot, but 18 inches or less. So that's so you don't end up parking out in the middle of the road and you obstruct traffic. Boy, there's a lot of, are those leaves or trash? Leaves. Okay. So that's good. All right. So I didn't really come across very many four-way stops. So Eastern America, this city has no stop signs. So they're all uncontrolled intersections. Whoever gets there first goes first. If two cars get there at the same time, who goes first? You should know that. Car on the right has the right of way. So just remember that saying. The car on the right has the right of way. So if you're pulling away from a curb, you have to do a lane change, right? So you're going to put on your left blinker. And let me show you from the inside view what this looks like. So you do what's called smog. We're going to practice lane changes next time, but smog stands for signal, mirrors, over the shoulder, go, if clear. So we signaled already, that's S. We're going to check our, we always do it in this order. Inside mirror, outside mirror, over my shoulder, and see that red car? He is in my blind spot. But as soon as he goes by, I'm going to check again, I can go. Okay, and I don't know what's going on up here. Crazy drivers, right? So let's go ahead and signal left and change my view so I can see what's going on. Okay, well that's interesting. Tell you what I would do. I would say, hey, let's signal right. Let's change our mind. Make sure no one's behind us. And let's just get out of this situation. If it was a wreck, we would want to try to help if we could. But it's not a wreck. They're just stopped in the middle of the road. We're going to go ahead and find another way around. So here's a corner. We're going to try to stay in the lane and not cut the curb. There we go. And that's just good practice. So intersections, mostly we had, let's take a right here, please. I'm not sure if this is a driveway or a street. Oh, it is a, let's not cancel your signal. Let's not turn in there. Let's go ahead and just follow this road. So the way I'm talking, this is how I talk when I'm teaching driver's ed, very calm. I try to be as descriptive as I can. It's sometimes not that easy. We're going to take a left here and go across this bridge. So if you'll come to a stop before the crosswalk, because again, this is an uncontrolled, unrealistic intersection. See how that car didn't even stop? Like what kind of planet is this? So I'm going to creep forward a little bit because I can't see down that road. So the left is really quick. It's quicker than I am being. And then if no traffic is coming, you go right across that double yellow and get centered and then pick up your speed. Now here's an example of a road that's probably 40, 45. So I'm going to guess 40 until I see a sign otherwise. So hey, for now, I think we're good. Next time we'll practice. We'll find some intersections that actually have signs and lights, and we'll practice those. But I think basically we covered maintaining your speed, staying in the middle of a lane. Oh, let me talk about lane positions real quick, and then we'll be done. So the lane positions are, position 1 is right in the middle. Okay, you'll hear police officers talk about that a lot. Lane positions. So I'm in lane position 1. Now, if I'm coming up to an intersection and I want to turn left, it's really important that you communicate your intentions with other drivers. Not, watch out, green car. Wow. Okay, drunk drivers. not only with your blinkers, but, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find an intersection up here, but let's say this is an intersection right here that I can go left at. I would actually put on my blinker, okay, first, and I would actually pull off to the left side of the road a little. That's called lane position 2. So if, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't think the guy behind me minds. It's a simulator. It's a simulation. So let's go ahead and stop here. So if I was turning left, I would put my car on the left side of the road. If I was turning right, I would do just the opposite, and that's called lane position 3. So let's go ahead and signal right and turn right. So those, those lane positions matter. If I'm in the middle, just going straight, I'm going to stay in lane position 1. If I want to turn left at a light, at an intersection, I'm going to get into lane position 2. If I want to turn right, I'm going to signal and slide over to lane position 3. You see how visually that helps people know what we're planning on doing. Now there are 2 other lane positions, and those are kind of emergency situations. Lane position 4, you actually straddle the middle line, and that is if there's a crash or something on the right side of the road that you have to avoid. Lane position 5 is straddling the right side of the road and the edge, which can be really tricky depending on what's over here. If there's a cliff, if there's a drop off, if there's, you know, dirt, sand, etc. But if you have to avoid something in the middle of the road, those are the only times that you would use lane positions 4 and 5. All right. So I think we've covered what we want to cover. And the next virtual drive, we're going to find some busier intersections and deal with traffic. So for now, Mr. Johns is out.